Yes.
All righty, guys, we're live. We got Tool Talk Saturday, the second Saturday of every month. We're in the month of March, so we're kicking things off. We got a couple fellow guests with us today. We got Duey Did It, who done did it, just really loves the cobalt blue. We got Craig from MC Engineering with us. He makes some fantastic posts on Instagram. I really have enjoyed them. I've liked seeing some of the stuff that he gets to work on. And then you guys, like it or not, you get stuck with me, Client Graphics, the Maintenance Man, and BSS Small Engines.
Hi, guys.
What's going on? Good evening.
So I know Brandon's kind of setting up there, but it's been a busy last month for Brandon. Brandon, I know you got some tool hauls that you've been doing, things of that nature. Is there anything specific that you want to share with us tonight before we just continue down and kick things off?
You know, I don't think there's anything that I bought that was too special other than that cheap plasma cutter that for $159 was pretty darn cool.
Well, I remember watching that video, and I know you were using your generator with that, and I couldn't remember, was that putting out 30 amps or 40 amps, one of those? Because I think I heard you say you kicked the breaker a couple times on that little plasma cutter.
It's pushing off 30 amps, and I think my generator only puts out 25. It has a 25 amp breaker. Okay.
Yeah, my guess is it was probably pulling 40, even though it only says 30. I've seen some pull 40. So before we get too much, let's just give a big shout out to a bunch of people that we got in our chat joining us tonight. We got Old School Repair Shop. We got Polar Bear Ed. We got Mike Hodge.
Tools and Trash.
Tools and Trash.
We got Ronald.
So we got lots of people joining us tonight.
And that plasma cutter was awesome.
For $159.
Yeah, that was a cool video. I was happy you did it. I'm happy you bought it and tested it out. I mean, you know, for something in a pinch, that's a super useful, you know, thing.
Yeah, I used to build that toe boom I got on my Farmall Cub. A lot of the pieces, I used that to cut it out with.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot more efficient. What were you using before? Were you using a Sawzall or a bandsaw?
For big pieces, I was using a chop saw, angle grinder, and sometimes on like sheet metal, on flat stock, I would use a jigsaw with a metal blade.
Now, that sounds kind of old school. I know Craig has a ton of metalworking stuff.
I've got a couple things.
When I say a couple things, I mean
fancy toys back there.
That's pretty much what he does all day long, is makes metal into amazing things, or take something that didn't exist before that you can't get as a part today, and he basically re-engineers it and makes it 10 times better out of the metal that it should have been made with the first time. And I don't know, Craig, what do you got going around in your shop these days?
So I'll give you guys a little background on myself. I've been in a machine shop basically since high school. And I got real lucky and got into a vocational program where I basically spent half of my day, my senior year, in a machine shop learning how to machine parts on manual machines. And before I kind of went full time with my own company, I spent about 15 plus years making aerospace parts and making a lot of other people really rich. So I broke off, and my brother is my partner, and he and I both, our main focus when we got started was building automation equipment. He's an electrical engineer, kind of a school of hard knocks mechanical engineer. I haven't found something I can't make or repair yet. So yeah, most of what I do now is we build automation equipment, and the machine shop supports that. I do get a lot of oddball jobs from construction companies. They'll bring in something that broke. They can't get parts for it anymore. The company's out of business. Can you fix this? One of my recent posts, there was a stainless assembly that had kind of two round pipe things. That was a guide rail adapter for a sewer pump for facilities maintenance. So I get just literally everything. Just if you're a machine shop and you're good and you have open spindles, people show up. So, and then I've always been in small engines. I worked in small engine shops in high school. You know, I had mini bikes and stuff as a kid. You know, the 5-horse Briggs was my learning ground. And now I've kind of gotten into it with my son, and he likes wrenching on motors too. So we've really in the last year kind of amped up doing the engine thing, and I'm just having fun. And I'm very blessed that I have a machine shop. So if I need a part, I go make it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's a little about me.
So what would you say is your favorite piece of equipment in the shop? Not necessarily makes you the most amount of money, just your favorite piece of equipment.
It's probably this machine right behind me, because when we started full time back in 2014, I had a little Grizzly mill that I actually built my own CNC controller for, and I thought I would never be able to afford anything this fancy. And this also has a 4th axis rotary table, and I can make anything on that machine.
So now, do you also like harden metal as well in your shop?
I have a small heat treat furnace. I don't know if any of you guys follow Barzy Industrial. Stands in Calgary.
Yeah.
He has some hot shot heat treat ovens. I'm waiting for him to come out with the larger 1200 size, just because of the oven that I have now. It's a cheap Amazon's finest, and I need more capacity for a lot of the parts that I run, and he's building that oven. He just hasn't released it yet. So as soon as that comes out, I'm on the waiting list.
Very cool. Well, I ask for selfish reasons because I think I need some adapters that go like a 3/4 inch adapter down to like 3/8 inch adapter.
Sure.
That needs to be fairly hard and be able to withstand breaking tools on it. And I can't just call up anybody and say, hey, I need this, and it needs to be like this. And since I'm just a small guy, they're like, you know, they bill it out and say, oh, it's going to be like 2 hours plus time and a little bit of labor, and it's like $215.
That's probably fair.
So, the reality is, you know, $215 for something for me is very, very expensive. But you know, it's going to get used and abused, and I can't just finding a good machine shop is like gold.
It's the right tool for the job.
Right.
And I'm guilty. I'm addicted to tools. That's probably why I'm on here with you guys tonight. I don't worry about the money so much. It's what's the right tool for the job.
Yep.
And I know you guys have been looking at a lot of Cobalt tools and that. Honestly, I have Ryobi tools all over my shop because 5 years ago, that's what I went with. And if the drill breaks, I throw it away and go get a new one. And honestly, most of the drills that I use on a daily basis, they're 3 and 4 years old, and they still work perfectly fine.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, you know, it's really, really difficult to try to want to get rid of this, even though it's 8 years old.
Yeah.
It still works. And, you know, Ryobi is one of those that had the battery system that hasn't changed since, goodness sake.
Even if you have the old blue tools, you can still use the new green batteries.
Yep.
And those old tools still work just like you'd expect.
They sure do.
I still have one of the old blue Ryobi drills, and it works fine, but the handle's broke.
Yeah.
my super glue keeps breaking.
You know, it's funny is like a lot of people said that the old blue Ryobis, you know, they were like cheaply made, but I have a bunch at work that I still run, and like there's not a lot of rubber overmolding, where now everything has like the whole thing's rubber overmolding, and then a little bit of plastic. And then like people complain about that. So it's like, you know, you either have it or you don't. But I think the old stuff feels just a little better, you know, instead of having all rubber.
I'd like to give a shout out to a couple more people that joined us. We got Uzi Lou's Garage. We got Turnings by Turner, as well as Zaphael. Thanks for joining us tonight on Saturday. And Dano's Toolbox. He's here too.
Hi, guys.
So I appreciate you guys all joining in.
I got to ask real quick, how's my audio sound? I bought a microphone based on Brandon's advice.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Sounds
Perfect.
good.
Thank you. So one thing that I could bring to you guys tonight is I've got a whole inspection cabinet right in front of me. It's a large Husky toolbox just filled full of inspection equipment, micrometers, anything. Is there any questions that you guys have that maybe you're not familiar with my world so much, but something that I could show you or explain to you that might you have a question about? What's somebody say when they mic a bore? You know, something like that. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Well, I'd be really interested in maybe you don't have any experience with it, but you know, you can get a cheap little caliper gauger at Harbor Freight for like $10 to $19.
Yep.
How off are those compared to a high dollar brand per se?
So I kind of have mixed feelings on that because my go-to calipers every day are either Mitutoyo or actually Schar's tools.
Mm-hmm.
I have used the Harbor Freight, $20 calipers for several years. The nice thing about those particular calipers, they're really accurate. The ones that I've used, like within 1/1000th of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do something more accurate than 1/1000th of an inch, you probably shouldn't be using calipers anyway. You should be getting into micrometers or indicators, dial bores, things like that.
Just right there.
Yeah, I saw that Mac Tools. Unfortunately, I think those are made in China.
Hey, I got it in trade for cleaning my sister's boyfriend's Solar's carburetor, so I can't complain.
No worries. They work. You know what? Honestly, guys, they all work.
Mm-hmm.
If you inspect them, it's about how you use it. If you use it like a C-clamp to check a dimension, it's going to spring the frame and it's not going to be accurate.
Right.
But most micrometers have some type of friction thimble as a way that you can turn it as much as you want, and it's going to have a preset torque that it goes to. They're accurate. I know a lot of guys in the trade, oh, no, if it's not stirred, it's not accurate, don't touch it. But you know what? I've used all of them. If it feels okay, it's smooth, they've all been accurate for me.
It's good to hear. I mean, everybody's use case is going to vary just a little bit, but I mean, I haven't had anything super expensive to compare mine to.
I'm guilty. I have probably one of the nicest micrometers out there. It's a digital Mitutoyo, and it's supposedly reads down to 1/10.
Wow. Yeah, I know all of their products that I've used have always been like calibration pucks. So like my calibration pucks for the Rockwell hardness tester was that brand. My brother works for a manufacturing company that makes rail cars, and he does quality control for them, and they have a ton of their products.
Zaphael, it's a Ryobi router. It's actually not mine. I'm not actually allowed to use it. It actually belongs to my mom. It belongs in her craft room. But I had to come. It's pretty neat, so I had to bring it out here for the live stream.
So this is my Ryobi, but it's not mine. Wow, Brandon.
Yeah.
I can look, but I can't touch.
You can't even have your own Ryobi tools. You had to borrow them from your mom.
No, I got the wall.
So you borrowed that one too?
No. Actually, believe it or not, I never had an impact driver, And then one year on my birthday, a couple years ago, my sister went to Lowe's. They had the drill and the impact drivers on sale and bought me the set. I never knew what I was missing until I had an impact driver. It makes my repairs faster.
Oh yeah, that if there's one tool that you don't have in a battery cordless power tool, the impact driver is definitely, to me, 10 times better than a drill if you're going to do the same type of screwing and drilling that you would.
My impact driver was speed handles before this.
Yeah, I mean, like work, doing deck repair, building, construction. Oh yeah, that impact for screws, just tenfold less. I mean, Dewey and I were messing with some drills last night, and the way the impact driver works, you just don't have any kick to it. I mean, you're supposed to be able to do 10 to 25 times the amount of torque with one of those, and basically not have all the work or the beating that you would have on your hand if you were just using a straight up drill.
Yeah.
I built an addition onto my old house, and I used the old blue Ryobi. This was before impacts, and every joint had 3-inch deck screws in it. I was literally keeping batteries in the freezer to keep them from overheating, because I was cycling like 3 batteries over and over.
Yeah.
And I built I call it a palm tree house because it's between 2 palm trees for my kids. And I went and bought one of those Ryobi impact drivers, and I put that whole thing together with 1 battery charge. Probably 200 or 300 3-inch Decker screws. And that sold me on that technology.
Oh yeah. And it doesn't even have to be a name brand. I mean, it can be even an off brand.
Yeah, and
just for starting out.
My son was 6, and he was able to drive in a 3-inch deck screw.
Yep.
I mean, compared to having to lean and wrench on it to get it to go in and then snap the heads off and all that, that's all gone away.
Yep. It's pretty impressive. Well, we got some more people joining us. We got Miss Kathy Durbin as well as Captain Jerk. So appreciate you,
Captain Jerk.
I got to say hi to Kathy because she always says hi to me whenever I join a live stream on whoever's channel it is. So hi, Kathy.
Yeah.
And depending on if Kathy's around, there's Craig that's not too far behind, or sometimes, Kathy just jumps on and Craig's in the same room. So we'll probably hear from him either which way, through Kathy, or he'll be joining separately.
And he was the first Craig, so I'm Craig 1. Sometimes you'll see C1 in the chat.
Well, very interesting.
Well, Dewey, what's going on tonight?
Yeah, I was going to say, Dewey put me out on a cobalt hunt just before this live stream. So he posted on Instagram, and I know it's out there. There are some 6-piece kits like that can be had for $112. And you get a 4-amp-hour battery with it, a 2-amp-hour battery, and you get that multi-oscillating tool alone with those 2 batteries is worth $100. Now the problem is it's either not available online. You call your store, they tell you that they have one in. You need to have them go physically check it to make sure it's there. Otherwise, you just happen to be at Lowe's, pick it up, because it happened to me. 2 of them both said they had it in stock, and I showed up and they're like, yeah, we can't find it. And after 30 minutes, they were like, yeah, we had the assembly team in the back not take it out of the system, but they've been using it to install everything at the store, and it worked great.
Wow.
We don't have it. And I was like, awesome. And then they called another store that said they had one, and they just straight up were like, yeah, we don't know where it's at.
I'll tell you, there's one of my followers. He looked online, like I told you earlier. It showed 0 out of stock, and he went and actually had 3 on hand. But you got to look in top stock and in places where it could be hidden. But if you score it, that's a smoking deal.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better deal out there right now at this point in time for battery-powered tools. Since you get, 5 tools and a light? I mean, they like to call the light a tool. While I agree with them, I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all the little bits. Each individual bit is, 1,000 pieces in a
Yep.
set, and then you get like 2 tools.
And then some of the manufacturers even include the carrying case or the bag as part of the piece in the kit.
Yeah,
Another good deal.
part of the marketing.
Yep.
This 230-piece bit set is on sale for $11, I think it is.
Wow.
So
Now,
you need a decent selection.
Now, I don't know about that set specifically, but a lot of the Cobalt stuff, if you do look it over, it does have S2 steel in it. But you just got to look. And I can't comment if that set specifically has it, but the last couple sets that I picked up, they were decent. I mean, the metal was at least the right hardness. I tested out a couple Cobalt bits, T25 and a Phillips number 2, and they were testing around 54 to 57 on the Rockwell scale, which is decent for that bit. At least the 10 different ones that I tried. That'll be a separate video at some point in time.
I saw you do that Rockwell hardness test on some different tools.
Yeah.
And there's kind of you've got hardness and toughness.
Right.
So if it was super hard, it's going to shatter.
Correct.
If it's not hard enough, it's going to bend. So
right.
It would be curious to see if you did like the hardness of, I don't know, let's say a 3/4 inch socket across 6 different brands, and then did a torque test and found out when they would break.
Yeah, I wish I could find out how to break a 3/4 inch socket.
Something that would, a 1/2 inch socket. I don't know.
Yeah, the sockets, I've really tried to break them, and the only time I break them is over a long span of time when they just, see wear for 5 or 10 years, or if I'm able to catch one on a corner in the sidewall and it just snaps it off, and it's not fair. It's kind of like the socket it's not meant to be off-centered, and a lot of them try to defeat that by rounding the corners on them. So I would love to do that, but on the flip side of it, how about I say that I'm in the works for doing T25 star bits?
It's a nice little tease.
Yep.
We could work our way up from there for sure.
So it'll probably be Project Farm style. So like he did the number 2 Phillips, it'll be like that, except for it'll be T25s. And he did the Moss hardness scale. So it was like 6 and 7. I can tell you the Rockwell is a little bit more accurate than, the numbers with the scratch test.
In my world, the Rockwell C scaled, that's pretty much the standard. Yep. Unless you're doing something with a different material, but in the metal side of it, Rockwell C scale is it.
So I talked there's a couple PhD department chairs at the university that I went to and had them tested out, and they all agreed that the Rockwell C at 150 kilograms for the primary load just absolutely crushes through chrome plating, because the chrome plating on the tool steel is, oh gosh, what did they say? I can't remember. It was like less than 0.03 mil or something like that. And the Rockwell C was going through 0.01, give or take. I could be wrong on those, Craig. Do those sound about right?
It has to be in thousandths of an inch for me.
Yeah, we were doing them in metric.
If the plating is a thou or two thick and you're going 3 or 4 thousandths deep, I don't know how it would affect it. It would be interesting to do one side of the wrench with the chrome plating and literally take a grinder and grind it off on the other side and do the exact same test to see how they compared.
Yep.
If the chrome was skewing your results at all.
Yeah, I'll have to put that on the list to do. Unless
if that batch of wrenches, Joe wasn't paying attention and left them in the tank too long, and now they got 5,000s of chrome instead of 2.
Yep.
I run into that stuff because we get a lot of parts anodized, and sometimes the sizes vary.
They can, and that can make a big difference. Well, Neil, what do you got going on from the maintenance world side of things, or maybe just a personal life kind of things?
I did pick up a new tool. Because I moved my Milwaukee's out of work, and I went back to using my Ryobi's at work. So I figured I might as well pick up the Quiet Strike Impact, and excited to give that a go.
Now, I can't remember. I was more of a rigid person. The Quiet Strike, they say, is what, 35%, give or take, quieter?
Yeah, I think out of the hydraulic oil, right? It's like a hydraulic thing.
Yep.
I think that's the quietest. I do have the M18 Surge.
Mm-hmm.
I did have the Stealth that worked really good. I have the M12 Surge. The Stealth was probably the nicest, but that's the one thing with Ryobi and Rigid. They're bulky, and like a lot of stuff I do, it's nice to have like a 12 volt that's compact.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Ryobi is inexpensive and it works. So
if it gets in all the places that you need it to, then it doesn't really matter if it's smaller. I mean,
it kind of doesn't though. But sometimes you just I have the 12 volt Hiltis that work also.
Mm-hmm.
So that should balance out what the Ryobi might not be able to get to.
I mean, I guess it depends. The smaller size means it weighs less. So if you were having to carry, say, everything in like a backpack, or have a certain compact go bag that you needed to take with you, it would leave a smaller footprint and it would not weigh as much, which is benefit to some people.
Yeah, and also if you're opening up walls and you got to work up in like a ceiling or something, I just installed a kitchen doing cabinet work, putting cabinets together. That smaller drill going, in the drawer spaces and stuff, it's the perfect size where like this wouldn't be able to do it.
Right. And you wouldn't want to use a screwdriver.
Right. So, yeah. It's, like apartment maintenance, I've been doing it 5 years. I'm in my 5th year, and we do the remodels and everything, and I'm still just trying to find that balance. So, like, Milwaukee's been kind of, like, it's frustrating because the batteries I don't like them. I've had a bunch of them screwing up, especially on the 12 volt, and then, and I never had issue with Ryobi batteries once I got past the NiCads, So I figured I'd move my Ryobis back to work and just kind of start using them again.
Very cool. Well, it looks like we got a couple more newcomers. There's somebody called Brad's Workbench that joined us. Yes.
Oh, gosh.
How's it going, Brad? Hope all is well. We got Maintenance Man Narratives. And we also have Twisted R. He was here. We got Horses Shop. And Go-Karts and Gone Fishing.
So I wanted to respond to Maintenance Man Narrative. Said, are you guys doing anything different or dealing with people different due to the virus scare? I'll be honest, like my wife kind of put us in self-quarantine for the weekend. Not completely. I did go out to the gas stations today, but in terms of work, I've been working normally. Things might change in a week or two, but right now it's pretty normal still.
That's what I was going to talk about. I saw his my corporate, actually the owner of the company reached out to us and pretty much gave us permission if we go into a unit and the resident's there, we can question them, are you having a fever, any symptoms? If so, and it's a non-emergency work order, we can tell them that they can check back within 72 hours if they no longer have symptoms. But it's pretty much for our safety. My property, we've got 240 units. So there's 2 maintenance guys. If we have an emergency, we need to respond and not be as sick. So good self-interest in the company and the personnel.
Yeah, I wish my company had something in place or has told us something, but I don't think they will. But
yeah, I mean, you definitely got to worry about it. I mean, I thought it was kind of silly for a while that people were posting about toilet paper. And then I finally actually went out, and it's really a real thing. Like, I literally went to Walmart and they had a gazillion tools, like hard tools, just
I saw that
totally flooded. They had, ammunition, you name it. But you went over to toilet paper and paper towels, Lysol, hand sanitizer, just bare.
Look, can I say 2 things real quick? A, toilet paper doesn't bother me because I'm sure you guys have showers if need be. There's your answer right there. And then 2, it's funny because I went to Home Depot Friday after work to get just a few small things, and they were cleared out of soaps. But you know what soaps were still there?
What?
Everything that was organic. Usually that's the stuff people are pushing out the door, like buy organic soaps. But all of a sudden we're in a health scare. We got to buy the antibacterial. But at the end of the day, anyone who's out there listening to this, just buy soap in general because it's going to wash your hands. Just stay clean. Be proactive in that, I guess.
I was going to tell you guys to stock up on putty knives while you're looking at tools, because that may be the solution.
I'm going to chime in on something here. I don't know if, Neil, you may follow some of the maintenance pages, but one of the memes, and it's all over social media, is people using sprayers from their sink and buying the adapters and hooking it to their toilets, or buying a bidet, however you say it.
There you go.
I don't use one, but I ain't afraid to step in the shower. Business needs to get taken care of.
Yeah, you got to take care of business. But yeah, you could. We have internationals that hook up sink sprayers to their toilets, and I have to yell at them and tell them to remove it because it just usually those lines last a few years and then they crack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that type of environment, that constant use, if they're just, it's a lot different. But anyways, we did have one that cracked overnight, and he slept while it leaked down into our office, and it caused about $5,000 worth of damage. And,
But hey, job security, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you guys a little secret. There's blue shop towels at AutoZone.
Yeah. I went to Costco as well, and they were out of everything, but they had shop towels.
Yeah, you could just go in the backyard and squat, Please.
All right, so we got a bunch of new people that joined us. We got Tradesman's Essentials. We got Nick Pixel TV. We also have Dawson's Forge. We got BW's Electronic. And did I miss anybody? Team Schaefer.
Team Schaefer.
I'll say something on this soap. I found a whole lot of dish soap sitting in the office. One drop will do just as much as a good old pump of regular soap.
Oh, heck yeah.
So wait, you said you found that in the house, right?
No, a lot of the stores have plenty of dish soap. Dawn, Ajax, whatever.
They don't
wash their hands, but at the end
They
of
don't
the
have
day,
the green antibacterial one, but they have the blue because people apparently can only buy the antibacterial.
But they can't buy the organic because they want to be sanitary but cheap.
And then I told my dad about that, and he's like, well, you could probably just mix like bleach in with that. I'm like, no, you're missing the point. like people push that down your throat. It's bioorganic, but when shit hits the fans, we're not buying it.
I figured if I get really, really desperate for toilet paper, I'm going to take the paper towels. I'm going to take the 12-inch miter saw to it, and then we'll post that on YouTube and Instagram for all DIYers out there.
You can also use tissue paper, that will flush.
Yeah, but then I can't just take it on the miter saw and have it just be like roll capable immediately. Maybe that's just my silliness there, thinking too creative, one of the two. Sometimes that creativity gets the best of me, and other times it's just Duey sending me out on a goose hunt for a deal.
I think good intentions, man.
Sorry.
But I do, my wife did comment, I do have enough Harbor Freight microfiber towels that could be used as TP if I needed to. And that is a true statement.
Reusable at that, too.
Yeah, my wife she does want me to do more laundry. That might be the opportunity to do more laundry. However interesting it is at that.
Yep. What we got?
Plenty of shop towels. They say Amsoil on them, but hey.
Look at Craig going there. He's pointing right the first time. That's pretty awesome.
I got shop towels both ways, so I'm good either way I point.
And I've got a case over in the shop, brand new box of white ones. It's like you pick a poison.
Very nice.
I know we've been up with the chats here, but we got 25 people in there. I want to say thank you, everyone, for showing up. That's awesome. Supporting.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it.
Supporting
guys.
Brandon here, and
yeah, we also did a WCSD joining. So he's just plopping on in because he, felt like he'd join us tonight. So appreciate you wanting to hang out.
This is your coronavirus relief entertainment.
Yeah.
Coronavirus.
See, that doesn't sound very terrible to me when we say coronavirus, but when you say that COVID-19, like that just sounds more deadly.
Right. Coronavirus makes you want to go grab a beer. You're like, yeah, let's party.
Yep.
But then they're like COVID-19, and you're like,
Yeah, it doesn't sound as cool. It doesn't sound like a party.
Twitter, why don't you get COVID-20?
Yeah, I heard coronavirus. I was ready to go get some steak and make some tacos.
Oh, we were talking. My boss, he killed a deer, but we got about 20 deers out back. We got a bow and rifle. We ain't running out of meat.
Yeah, we got squirrels and deer and everything flying by our house.
Fishing poles, go fishing.
I got a stream runs next to the house.
We've got a Bass Pro Shop in our town in Mesa, Arizona, and supposedly somebody held up one of the store clerks literally at gunpoint because he wanted more ammo.
Fuck.
Wow.
It's like, you guys are nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and how old was this kid?
I don't know. I heard it third hand, so.
God, that's just.
But how nuts are you to go that insane that you're going to pull a gun on somebody wanting more ammunition?
Yeah.
And you're on like 400 cameras.
And you can't really take the gamble in that situation, but do you assume that they have a loaded weapon then or not if they're asking for ammo? Just throwing that out there.
Prove it.
But I did want to say, Work Pro Tools, thanks for joining the stream tonight.
Awesome. Thanks for. I know y'all said y'all couldn't make it to the last one. I'm glad y'all can make it to this one.
So what he was talking about, somebody actually broke into our local Bass Pro Shop and stole like 30 some odd guns at night. Just like, what's the world coming to? Come on now.
I know people that like ran out and renewed their license to carry things. It's like let's take a step back here and just take this a little bit at a time, and we'll get through it.
Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm wearing Tecton tonight because they recently started announcing and launching some of their toolboxes. So if you
No way.
like some of the
I got my
Tecton,
set right here.
so I know Brandon
They're
likes
fun.
the Tecton hand tools. I might have the 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive set. They've served me pretty well. But I thought it was really interesting that they're going to start coming out with toolboxes. So it looked like they had definitely the
They
36,
look great.
the 60, and they had them in at least red and kind of a charcoal gray. I thought it was really kind of interesting. They're made in Canada, so I can't remember which company contracts out of Canada. So they contracted with somebody that makes toolboxes for, like, you know, 6 other brands. But it was kind of interesting to see the pricing on those. I mean, while it's cheaper than your normal tool truck brands, they were still more expensive than like what Harbor Freight released for their Icon tool storage. But they were definitely way more expensive than your general Craftsman, Husky, and
Craftsman, I think, is pretty expensive nowadays.
yeah.
Yes.
Can I ask you something? Are they going to push this hard on YouTube? Because if they are, I might just go into like a blanket of darkness for till it ends.
Who pushing really hard? Craftsman?
Yeah, Tecton. Are they going to push these boxes hard on YouTube?
I don't know. I couldn't really tell you.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. I really just wanted to say I know that WorkPro Tools had a toolbox that I saw floating around on the internet at one point in time, but I don't know if I ever saw it like fully released on Amazon.
Everything I ask about WorkPro is like, it's like everything that I'm interested in is never available to like buy anymore, or you know.
I just want one of those banners.
Would you say Tecton tools would be the equivalent of like 1990 Craftsman?
I would say that Tecton would be what Craftsman should have gone into instead of moving to China.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if they were to make a transition when they went from USA to China, if they would have gone more Taiwan based, like Tecton really is, you get a fairly decent product at a fairly decent price with a lot of different options when it comes to basic hand tools, but you still got to be like picky and choosy when it comes to some of them, because, like, you know, I bought a couple of their long nose 30-degree offset pliers, cutting pliers, and I thought that they were a decent deal, but then after I come to find out, looking around, they were a rebrand of something that I could have got at Tractor Supply for, like, I don't know, half the price that I paid for them, because part of the name was Tecton on there. So,
are they expanding their line, and so maybe starting out they were rebranding stuff, and as they grow, they're starting to bring their tools in-house?
well, I think they still have a large percentage made in Taiwan. They do have some manufacturing in Michigan, so they do have some branded USA tools. The one thing I do like about Tecton, if you are somebody that really likes a country of origin for your tools, they specifically list, without a doubt, really easy to find, where a tool is made on their website.
Yeah, that's nice.
Not all manufacturers do that. So what gets me and why I really dislike it is when you see made in the USA with global materials. You're like,
I hate that too.
okay, so now
it's
I
made
go
in China with a USA sticker.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So was everything really made somewhere else? It was just the final assembly happened here, and then they put a sticker on it. I couldn't tell you, but there are certain guidelines that you have to meet, but they're also kind of loose in my mind if you really read them.
Ronald had a neat comment. He said it's reported that Chuck Norris tested positive for coronavirus. Now the virus is in quarantine.
I would have thought he would have just given a roundhouse kick to it and never got a hold of it in the first place.
Mm-mm.
I have several Tecton tools, and for me, I like their socket sets, but I've gone out and bought gear wrench ratchets to replace them because to me, their ratchets are a little bulky.
Yeah, those are something that you really got to be picky about because I've seen the gear wrench ones too. See, I remember gear wrench when a lot of their stuff was made in Taiwan, and almost all of their gear wrench ratcheting wrenches right now, the majority of them are made in China. And when you look at the heads on them, they're a little bit off centered or they are potentially a little bit bulky. I know the open end on some of the Tecton stuff, it's not perfect. It looks a little off, but I mean, they have some decent testing apparently that they put into the Tecton ones. But I also own the gear wrench ones, and I don't have any issues with those either. But I know for a while, I think when gear wrench first came out, I think I saw them in Sears first, way back in the days.
I have a gear wrench ratcheting wrench box end that was actually, I think it was branded by Ace, but it was made by Gear Wrench.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ace was on one side of it and Gear Wrench was on the other side of the wrench. And the center ratcheting mechanism fell out of it. Was I think it was 4 pieces, like 3/8, 7/16, half, 9/16. The center fell out of every one of them. And I did the warranty on the 1/2 inch and it fell out shortly after I got it. And I'm like, these are junk. Why am I going to chase this? So I've kind of steered clear of the ratcheting wrenches for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably go back to the maintenance man and say the ones that I've used the most and had the longest are going to be my Stanley ones. But at the time, the Stanley ones that I have were pretty much like a rebrand of some Blackhawk tools. And at the time, when I bought them, the Blackhawk stuff was really good. You didn't hear about it a whole lot, but if you knew the name and you knew you had some of their tools, you knew it was decent stuff before it got bought out or fully integrated into the Stanley Black & Decker brand.
I'm trying the Tecton 6-point ratcheting wrench set right now. So far, they've worked great, and they seem to have a good clearance. Like they're not real bulky around the box end.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get in tight spots pretty good. So far I've been real happy with them.
Was that the 6-point one? Is that the one? Is it just a 6-point with the open-ended wrench?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Are they like long ones or are they just fairly standard in size?
Standard length. I do have the Tecton combination wrench, metric and standard, and they are a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah, there's just something about me that innately likes to put a lot of extra force on tools.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Bolt stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something
Talking about ratcheting wrenches, I've got the Cobalt 90 tooth or 90 tooth setup and an older open end ratchet setup that they had. And I've heard good and bad about these. They're all right, but they don't make them no more. And I'm kind of curious as to why they don't, if it was due to lack of performance, poor performance in the design or something like that.
Well, I can tell you without a doubt, the speed open end wrench per se that they have on there, to me, in my opinion, I have a set too. They're Craftsman USA ones. I've used them once and I never used them again. To me, that open end speed wrench on them was kind of a gimmick. That's
to me, its use would be like as a flare nut wrench. Would be something that you'd possibly have to because you have to have that open end. But if I can put a standard ratchet end on it, I'm going to.
But I have flare nut wrenches, so I've never used that.
I can't see why you would ever want that open ratchet. I'm thinking about the 2 screws on a carburetor. You have to have an open end. You cannot get a box end in there. And you need both flats on that thing to grab that bolt.
I've actually cut a spare open just to make a flare nut wrench in a pinch.
Well, getting back to ratcheting stuff, I bought this off of eBay. They are still for sale there. You can check them out. Now, all it is, I've never bought like a Blue Point. So it's a Blue Point, made in USA, little hex driver, 1/4 inch. You know, it's reversible. You can spin your finger on there, and I use it at work for like nut drivers and stuff.
Yeah, what do one of those run you?
It was like I want to say it was like $8 to $10 when I picked it up. And I mean, if you can actually hear, can you hear that?
Sounds very fine.
Yeah, it's a nice little handy tool.
I personally, if I would pick one of those up, I would pick up like one of the full little bit sets with it. That comes with, you know, like 30 some odd bits and the little.
Well, I have a few of those.
Yeah, something like that. I have that actual gear wrench set.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it's at, but I have that one.
How big is that? Can I see the ratcheting part of that?
That one's fairly big, man.
That's a nice size, yeah.
It's a little bit longer than my Cobalt one, and it's a decent one. I wonder if WorkPro makes one like that.
I have a stubby by WorkPro. I think it's like a 72 tooth. It's pretty nice, but like it's literally the same size as this. But it has a 1/4 inch, and then it has a bit adapter on the backside. But I bought this more just to buy a Blue Point product and just try it out.
So Neil, are you saying that you were buying on brand there?
Yeah, Duct Tape Tech is a channel I watch, and he uses some Blue Point stuff. So I bought this and some Blue Point vice grips, which is kind of weird because, you know.
No, I think that's a good one. If that one you said was made in the USA, that's pretty top notch too.
Yeah, it's that, and the price point was kind of hard to beat.
So I have that same gear wrench one. The one thing I do like about the gear wrench one is it actually does have like a finger wheel on it. So I don't know if you can see. That helps twist it down. And then here's the Cobalt one compared to it. And you can see the gear wrench one is a little bit larger.
Mm-hmm.
So I do end up having both of those. And I like the gear wrench one a little bit better because it's flat on the back. And if I wanted to, I could mount it on something, where the Cobalt one is really dumb and has a belt clip / thing. Even if you were to break that off, I'd have to basically take an oscillating tool and shave that down.
I see that, yeah.
I just don't feel like I want to do that, so it never lays flat.
Yeah,
But I have it anyways, and I didn't return it.
Electrical tape.
And I hate it every time I see myself because I should just cut that off and then just, you know, super glue a piece of plastic and make a larger backing on it. But that's a lot of work for something that was like $14. So, yeah, those are pretty handy.
Yeah, they come in handy. I have the little, I don't know if you ever saw the little boss stitch one.
I have it.
Yeah, it's like, it's very tiny though. Very tiny. But, pretty neat.
Yeah, if you can pick that up, it's made in the USA for $10. I'd say that's a pretty good, decent deal.
Yeah, you know, and if you want, I guess it's someone in the chat said it's a reproduced Lang or rebranded Lang.
Oh yeah, Lang Tools makes decent stuff. Lang Tools rebrands a lot for Blue Point and Snap-on.
Okay.
Yeah, that came from Walter, and if I remember right, he said something about, I think he said his wife works, told me one time his wife works at Snap-on, so he'd probably have more on the inside info on that.
And then let's see, you can pick up some Lang Tool stuff at O'Reilly Auto Parts. They have one of the best ratcheting brake caliper release tools, I feel. and they rebrand those all around the world.
Huh. I heard that is it Tech, or I think it's AutoZone Tech brand?
Advanced Auto Parts?
Yeah, Advanced Auto Parts is rebranded Gear Wrench.
Yeah, so that happened. I did a video on that, probably last year in March or April.
Okay.
So they were so Gear Wrench pulled out of Advanced Auto, or Advanced Auto said, you know what, we're not going to do Gear Wrench anymore, but we want to do Gear Wrench, but we want to make it our own brand. Who knows why? Because a lot of the stuff, if you were to bring in Gear Wrench, every Advanced Auto is a little bit different, but the ones that I frequent, they have no issue if you bring a Gear Wrench thing that you purchase there, they'll swap it out for their Tech Correct brand. Oh, hey, that arrived really quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got mine too. I got one right here,
Yes,
one
yeah.
right there, that one right there.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
need
don't
a
think
sticker
I'm
trade.
loving stickers.
I also got if you guys have not checked out Me Again Dave, he has a cool channel, but he sent me stickers as well.
Wow, that looked like a business card size sticker. That looked like a big sticker.
Just it's like square compared to your circle, which fit perfectly in the Work Pro O.
Nice. Well, it's not a competition, but is his sticker bigger than mine?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
You want a Duey Did It sticker? There you go.
Very
Duey
nice.
did it. There we go. I haven't made one yet. People keep asking me to, but
I have to get more made.
Well, Brandon makes his own, which is pretty impressive that he's got the machinery and the equipment to do that. And he makes his own decals, iron-on things for hats and cups.
The stickers actually started. I started sourcing out to a guy who comes on here, and he does like real high quality. He works for a print company, and he does really high quality stickers. Oh, wrong camera.
Very nice.
There's only my last 3 that's already promised out that I just think got shipped out yet.
Well, Brandon, I don't know. Can you run a giveaway for numbers or anything with the Nightbot or anything like that in the chat?
Yeah.
we could just do it if you want to do a giveaway and then tell us the number so we know it.
I don't know the number. I was just going to say, I could give away a couple more stickers.
Yeah, I got a few I can throw out.
Yeah, Nightbot, I think it just randomly picks someone in the chat. That's how it does it.
Well, let me know how to run that, and I'll give away 2 stickers because I just
All right, I'll get over here to the Nightbot thing.
I want to say Hot Rod Gavin, what's up in the chat? Patrick Hattrick, how's it going? Walter Frederick. Famous Amos. Cardoza.
Did we have Amos Cardoza join us tonight? Did I not see that?
He so I used to do some shout outs on my channel, and I gave him a shout out for being awesome. He doesn't have a channel, but he is just solid dude. And you know you're gonna have a good night when Famous Amos shows up.
Yeah, he really loves the tool community.
Yeah,
He subscribes to a lot of us.
Nick Pixel TV is in the house as well.
We got Hot Rod Gavin picking up 2 lawnmowers for $25. And we got Twisted R. He's back. So Brandon's going to figure out how to do a giveaway, and I'll give away 2 of my channel stickers.
And Turnings by Turner. If you have not checked his channel out, awesome channel.
I'll be right back. I got to go get some stickers.
Duey Did's got some stickers on hand as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to place another order.
So, Cobalt, I might check out some Cobalt.
MCE Craig just left. I was gonna go upstairs.
I'm
But
back.
something I wanted to talk about tonight, and he may use something similar, but this is Cobalt's brand. But these here are hidden in the aisle at Lowe's, and I know he's probably got a mill and stops and all that, but you use it to put on and make a dedicated depth, so it'll stop at a certain depth. That's something I've never really seen until that 230-piece kit actually comes with 4 of them inside of there. Pretty neat little tool.
It's electrical tape.
Yeah,
I'll tell you something I use a lot because I don't want to drill through and hit something underneath. I'll use a piece of hose.
yeah.
We
I just
do a
thought
lot
they
of-
were really cool, and they're like $5 or $7, something like that.
Yeah.
So it really ain't that much.
I gotta tell you, Chris, by the way, I think your stickers might be the best quality ones I have yet to have. I mean, it was. We'll just use AVE. It was skookum as frig.
Nice. Well, that's cool to hear. Let's just say that they weren't the cheapest stickers either.
They're definitely nice.
My wife did all the ordering on those, so I can't really complain. She's like, "Holy cow!" She's like, "Stickers are expensive."
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who y'all use, but I've signed up for Sticker Mule. And every month they send out like promos where it's like ridiculous discounts on.
Yeah, that's who we use as well.
It's a good way to go. From what I've heard,
And they're good quality. I've yet to have any of them come out like messed up or anything like that at all.
It's pretty
Plus,
cool.
I think we got a few extras that they had in there because every year running, you never run exactly like 50. You'll run like 55 or something like that.
Walter Frederick says he uses deep well socket as a depth gauge when drilling certain holes. It's a good way to go.
I'm turning up all the user info right now for everybody in the thing.
In the chat.
Yeah, chat. It's just slow because my computer's slow, so.
How are those? Your weather still staying all right there, Brandon?
We're so far. It looks rainy outside, but it's been posted the storm for the last 2 days, and it hasn't done it yet.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but 2 days ago it was like 70 degrees. Now it's 34 and it snowed last night.
It's snowing right now here. Yep.
It's absolutely crazy.
It's like here right now, but humid from the. Because it looks like it's going to storm.
And I either have a squirrel or a raccoon up in my attic.
Squirrel.
Neither are sounding awesome, but it sounds like something a maintenance man would definitely take care of.
Well, we heard it last night, and
And I hoped it'd go away.
well, that's what tonight is for, an experiment, because it didn't sound like a squirrel hops around. Like, we had a flying squirrel trapped in our attic, and I put a rat trap up there and took care of it. But this sounded like, it kind of sounded like someone walking up there, like a lot more slow moving. So
How old is your house?
I think 69. So it's not too old, but we have a vent fan up there going through the roof, and that's kind of that's the only way they get in.
All right. I figured it out. It wasn't my computer being slow. The people actually has to chat, and as you're setting it up, and it starts pulling them in. So we got them all pulled in for now. Unless anybody else wants to join, y'all better type in now because say something in the chat right now because it's picking up active users.
So Brandon, what are people supposed to type in the chat to be entered into get a client graphics sticker?
Just anything, just so it knows that they're in the chat.
As maintenance man narratives asked what part of the country we're all in, I'm Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I originate from.
If you guys want to get in on one of the client graphic stickers, just go ahead and make sure you put something down below in the chat. Put anything in the chat. You could say the maintenance man rocks. You could say Dewey done did it. You could say Craig has the best Instagram and posts the coolest machining on Instagram. And if you're not subscribed to him on Instagram, that's definitely where you should head on over if you aren't already subscribed to him on YouTube. And I'm in Nebraska. So I'm smack dab in the middle of the U.S., right in the capital of Nebraska.
I'm actually just north of Nashville, so Tennessee, kind of southeast.
I'm down in Phoenix, Arizona.
So it's a lot warmer down there.
All right, we got them.
A little.
Should we roll it? Y'all ready to give away a sticker?
Yeah.
Oh.
Give them away. But if Mrs. Graphic wins, sounds like it's going to be rigged.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm marking her off in there. I just saw that. All right, let's go.
And if Neil wins too.
What's it R?
Yeah, if I win, just eliminate. I'm sorry, I'm just responding to the chats.
All right, there we go. We got Twisted R. So Twisted, if you want to message me at clientgraphics@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram, either which way. Brandon, are you able to pull another winner?
Yep. By
Go
the
ahead.
way, it shows you're not subscribed to me. What the heck? All right, we'll roll for another winner.
Oh, Amos Cardoza.
Cardoza.
Yeah.
So Amos, you're going to definitely have to hit me up on Gmail. So Client Graphics. So it's my channel name at gmail.com. Send me your name and address. Same with you, Twisted. And then what the heck? I got one more. So why don't you add one more winner tonight?
All right, we'll roll it.
Maintenance man narratives.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Cool.
And we got maintenance man narrative. So again, give me a message at clientgraphics@gmail.com with your address. We'll get these mailed off to you on Monday because, you know, the post office doesn't deliver on Sundays, but they might pick it up. So either which way, go ahead and message me on Instagram or Gmail, and we'll get those out to you. And Dewey, you might as well just message me your address. I'll send them to you, and Craig as well. Just hit me up on Instagram, and I'll get one in the mail for you as well.
Put a return address. I'll return.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll make another order of some stickers, and maybe next time we stream, I'll throw some out there.
Not a problem. We definitely like your stickers.
Got a cool pop socket too.
And did you get that from Sticker Mule?
No, you can go to Pop Socket's website and make your own.
So Dewey, you kind of like your Cobalt stuff just a little bit. Have you ordered any of the personalized Cobalt ratchets?
I have not. And I'm a little scared too. Like, I don't think I would want to use those.
You mean you didn't want, let's see, do they have the oxide blue ones or something like that? The blue anodized?
Yeah, I just don't see you use them. They'd be like a showpiece, but
They would be. They would be.
I'd be scared to use them.
Well,
Didn't have a gold-plated set?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, I remember back in the long time ago, my uncle had a set of those.
Well, Craftsman even had some anniversary edition ones.
Yeah.
And like I looked at them and I was like, it'd be nice to have one of those, but it's like even the Craftsman set was quite expensive, and it's like I'm not gonna use it.
I thought about getting it for my dad as a Father's Day present, but
I mean, they might actually use it, but I wouldn't. I would just let it sit there. It's one of those things. Now, do you have any engraving or lasering machines, Craig, or are you just more the milling and the manufacturing?
I don't have any laser equipment. I do have a JD squared plasma table that does have an engraving pin attachment.
Yeah.
So I can go down and drop a part number on a plate or something. And most of my engraving, I actually just machine it in.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can customize any ratchet you want at any time.
You know what? The problem is because I have access to this equipment, I can't make anything. That sounds weird, but to get focused and go, okay, I want to make this, then your brain just starts spinning out of control. Well, I could do this to it, and then I could make this change, and well, yeah, but then I could make this, and I could make that, and it just snowballs, and nothing gets made.
Yeah, I hear you.
That may be my ADD or whatever you want to call it, but to get focused and get something done. Now, my son and I made a little trailer for our small engines a couple weeks ago, and
which is awesome. I should check that out.
I'm just getting behind him, and if he's interested in something, I have a little different view of college education, and I did go to a 2-year school and got a degree in machine trades, but it's something I was passionate about. And for my kids, if they're passionate about something, go after it.
Yeah.
Be the best in whatever you want to do. My oldest, she's into art. So I'm taking her out and letting her see different types of art. Be passionate about it.
That sounds very cool. So let's see. We got Twisted already sending me his address so I can get that out there. So if you guys can, within reasonable amount of time tonight, things of that nature, get those out. That way I can, at least by Sunday afternoon, so I can get everything mailed up and out there at a reasonable amount of time. Because I was actually pretty impressed that Neil and Brandon got their stuff, because I dropped that stuff probably in the mail on, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah.
So we'll see, because I know there's some shipping delays, or at least I've started to hear that with the current climate that we have out there today. You just never know when you're going to get your things now.
I do want to do a quick shout out, one for I guess this is Maggie's Farm. I think it's a rum, but this is made in Pittsburgh. It's pretty cool, and
See that it's almost empty.
well, I've had it for over 2 years, so actually probably 3 years. But another channel I watch, I don't know if you guys, but Chemical Spore, another cool YouTube channel.
Have a good night, Kathy. Thanks for joining. Tell Craig we said hello.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by later, Kathy.
Yeah, Walter Frederick said he had an unopened Snap-on 500 screwdriver set. Only made him 1 year unopened. That's what happens sometimes when you purchase those one-off items. I know I used to be super big into Craftsman. I had a Sears store that was literally like less than 6 blocks away from me. And then as things started to shift away from not being made in the USA, started not using the tools as much. And then they just kind of unfortunately sat there. And I don't know what it was about the fact that, hey, I had this lifetime warranty and I could get the same tool replaced. The quality to me in my mind on some of the tools isn't the same. So I just stopped using them and unfortunately bought something different. And I probably should have just used them until they broke and then started buying something different. But that's not what happened. And now I'm having a bunch of tools.
Also, I need to do another shout out tonight. Twisted R right there. He's been starting to do some more stuff now that he's home, retired from being in the truck. So be sure to go check out his channel.
All right. Very cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, so you're talking about if your kids are passionate about something, just be supportive of that and kind of feel like the same way. Like, I'll definitely teach them what I know, but they can do whatever they want to do, and
Yep.
kind of try and help assist any way I can. But also, I want them like grabbing trade jobs as summer jobs or whatever, just so they have something to fall back onto.
Yep, very nice. Looks like we got Bama Mud Mower joining us tonight.
Wiener, how's it going?
Hi,
Yeah.
Doug.
Good
You guys
job
were mentioning the trades and things of that nature. I can tell you, Dewey and I did a live stream last night. We just obliterated a bunch of 2x4s and didn't get a chance to fully clean up after that stream, but I had my son was out. Didn't even ask him. He was out with the shop vac the next day, cleaning up stuff for Dad, and didn't get a chance to take down everything. But, you know, as much as we use those tools in the live stream, also get an opportunity to work with the kids. And they have school off all this next week due to the coronavirus. And so we're definitely going to probably build something or at least give them all the power tools that they want and screws and see what they build.
Nice. Very
I
nice.
would like to see y'all do a test in metal one of these days. Because that's a true test in a power tool.
Well, you know, I would have loved to have done that, but, you know, when you collaborate, it's like you can only do so much. So, like, I might have a structural H-beam and Dewey won't have one. Or Neil might have something that I won't have, or Craig's going to have the ability to cut and do something for metal that I won't be able to. So it's like, well, you know, now you have that plasma cutter, and it's like I can't cut things that I'd like to. So it takes a, you know, like that, for instance. Dewey's like, you need to get a 10-pound weight so that you can put that on your Sawzall so that, you know, we have the same constant force. And I'm like, dude, you must be richer than I, because that little dumbbell thingy you got there is like $30 at Target. I can't afford that. So I went over to Walmart and bought the $12 one.
That's probably the same one I have, the round, like old school.
Is that the same person that has the $3,000 socket?
No.
That guy right there. Wait, right there. Oh.
That's his doppelganger.
You got to buy where you want to and
Right.
where you want.
I have to save some money in certain aspects so that I can afford the other things that I want in life. I mean, how many of us have like $1,000 like cell phone running around in our pocket that we're either making payments on, or they have this layaway plan, whatever they call it nowadays.
A lease.
Yes, a lease. That's what it is. And to me, it blows my mind that it's like the amount of money we're willing to spend on a phone, but we won't get a nice Mother's Day gift for our own mom, or we'll forget an anniversary gift for our wives. And I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, you know. I will say, I think tomorrow, I'm pretty sure tomorrow, Dewey did it not because of the coronavirus. We're going to have a tool battle. We have not decided on what yet. I don't know if anyone else would be willing to join, but it's going to be, you know, drill or probably impacts or something.
We got a wooden hammer.
I tell you, if you want
entertainment.
a drill, get a 1/2-inch drill bit and just drill through a piece of 1/4-inch steel.
Oh shoot. I've tried to do some of that, and it's a lot of work.
The thing that I'm starting to see is a lot of the newer cordless drills will sense that catch.
Yeah.
And it won't twist your arm off.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't know that, but Dewey pointed that out in the Cobalt, and it actually, on the drill, it's the first one in my lineup that has that. Let me show you that feature. So if there's anybody that is just joining the stream, it isn't meant to be. But here's that new Cobalt XTR. And when it kicks, it automatically shuts off. And see, my finger's my finger's still on there.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times in the past I've actually sprung my wrist from a drill or something.
Yep.
So I
it
mean,
happened last night.
yeah, if Dewey's not wearing a wrist brace after last night, man, he was using the spader bit or the speed bore, and at the end there, man, it had a nice kick and about took his arm off.
It stinks because you can't start small engines with them.
That's true. So yeah, that was really interesting to see on that one, and I think that's one step that is a little bit more professional compared to what some of the other tool lines out there that you pick up for $100 that's not going to have that.
I have a Makita SDS hammer drill. And so, like, if you're going through a cinder block wall or something and it binds up, it'll shut itself off before you smack yourself in the face,
True. Oh, Dewey, there was one other thing that I wanted to mention. So on that hard case for the Cobalt, if your drill, say you're using something fine, if it's out, if the chuck's out or fully extended, you can't close the case. You can't even get this to rest in there. And you can't have the battery on the tool and close the case as well. So they really made the case so specific for the tools that it really only goes in one way when it comes to this kit.
I mean, I gave you my 2 cents. I like that 5-piece kit. I guess I'm going to say it's Cobalt's version of the pack out system.
Yeah.
I'm really interested. I've seen a few people post pictures. They're showing up in stores in California and a few other places. But I think I'm really interested in seeing how that system turns out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
There's a guy on Instagram, Toolaholic. He shows a lot of that different types of pack out stuff. He does a lot of construction remodel type work. As far as I can tell from his Instagram page, but he has a lot of different tools that he tests on there.
I have not watched that channel.
I think I've seen a few of his videos.
I have an older Black & Decker corded drill that will break your wrist.
Yeah, they used to make industrial tools.
Yeah. And the air ones too. Yeah, those got a lot of kick too. That's where the impact drill really comes in. The impact drill driver, like that thing, that's kind of like what the impacts were made for, where you basically have all of your resistance coming through that centrifugal force with the hammers blowing, so that the end user doesn't have to be the one applying the torque and physically exerting as much work, and the tool's doing all the work, so you can do the same amount of work 10 times longer.
Mm-hmm.
So I like buying drill bits that I can use in my impact tool personally.
Yeah.
Well,
I was really impressed with these speed bore Irwin bits. They've all got the quick connects. That's just really handy. I've pretty much not bought any drill bits that you have to use a roller chuck.
it's
So Neil, just out of curiosity, which bore size do you typically use?
well, for the Irwin speed bores.
Yeah, or just in general.
To be honest with you, I more or less use hole saws for what I have to do. If you notice, the 3/4 is missing because I chewed it up.
You don't have to say anymore.
But yeah, usually it's the 1/2, 5/8, and 3/4. I've used the 1 1/4 a few times and the 1 inch a few times. It looks like the 7/8 I've never used. So
Yeah, I think the 3/4 gets used a lot for.
Yeah.
You can pull 2 pairs of Romex through there. The 1-inch, you got a lot of extra room and play in there. I know I used my 1-inch for some conduit and a couple other things.
And then also a nice I bought a nice drill bit set. It's also Irwin, but it
Folds out.
yeah, I mean they look exactly like a lot of the higher end drill bits. I guess I think they're just rebranded.
Are those cobalt or just high speed steel?
To be honest with you, I don't know, but they were. I mean, it was darn near $100 for this set.
Those might be cobalt.
Yeah.
And they've been holding up great. I mean,
Is there a model number on that?
Yeah, let me see if I could pull something off of here. We got maybe it's inside.
If you don't, no big deal.
I think it's would be GO5082.
Yeah, we got the Irwin drill bit set, 29 piece. You can get it at Rural King for $81.99. Let's look at the Amazon one here. M35 cobalt steel. There you go.
I can see a gold hue on the side of the.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good set.
Yeah, it's been great. So
Now, do you drill mostly wood with that?
Yeah, mostly wood.
If you do, it should last a lifetime.
Yeah, because this should be rated for like steel and stuff, right?
Yeah, you're not going to see a difference between high speed and cobalt and wood.
Right.
But if I ever needed to,
If you had to start drilling a lot of steel or even stainless steel, you'll see the life increase with the cobalt.
Now it depends on which version you bought. There's a B version which has 8% cobalt, and there's a non-B version that has 5%. Either way, you're still gonna never have any issues with wood.
Not wood.
Not at all.
I mean, every once in a while I've used them for steel. That's why I bought it, because I was getting buy cheap drill bits and they go bad real quick, especially like Ryobi ones and.
I had bad luck out of the DeWalt brand ones, and
Yeah, DeWalt.
The biggest problem with drilling through steel is people drill too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not by force, by RPM.
That and a lot of people don't use like an oil when they're doing it.
That's helpful, but again, RPM is the key. It's
Yeah.
all about heat.
Yep.
Too much heat and the metal breaks down, dulls the edge, you're done.
Yep. Yeah, because I mean, some of the milling, they're not necessarily using an oil for a lubricant. They're using things to keep down
The heat.
the heat and friction.
It's all about, like, I use water soluble coolant, which is about 6 to 8% oil, and the rest is water.
Yep. So it's not lubricant. It's all about cooling.
Yep. But you're right. Oil is if you want to drill through steel and you can use motor oil.
Yep.
Anything.
I did. Straight 30 in one of those old cans.
You can even use old oil.
You can, but it stinks.
And if you don't use enough, it stinks either which way.
Yeah.
I've used cooking oil.
I don't doubt it, Brandon.
Old oil, right?
Was it canola or olive?
Vegetable.
Oh, there you go. Or peanut? Do drill bits have an allergy to peanuts? None that I've found so far.
Gotta save that for the chicken wings.
Yep. Definitely the good stuff. Well, Brandon, I want to say I really appreciate you having me on for our Tool Talk Saturday. I'm going to let you guys continue to hang out. I know, like I said, in Nebraska here, we had that snow. It's about 33 degrees here now in the garage. Outside, it's probably about 40 in here. I don't have heat in here. And I know the kids are all in bed, stuff's starting to quiet down. And as much as I spend on tools, hunting for deals and things like that, I want to say I couldn't do any of my YouTube stuff. And I have to give a lot of props to my wife. And so as much time and effort that I spend into tools, you guys have to make sure that you save time for your significant others, your friends and family in life, so that you continue to do the things that you like to do and foster those relationships, as well as hanging out with us and everybody else on YouTube. And we really just want to say thank you for that time. That being said, I'm going to go spend some time with my wife, and really appreciate you guys all joining the Tool Talk Saturday live stream.
Great advice, man. It's nice to talk with you.
You're with us again.
So Neil, I'm going to go spend some time with my wife. The 2 cents that I said is, again, and you do this very well. You get a good separation between your family and YouTube life.
Yep.
As much work that you do into YouTube, you got to spend that time with your family.
Absolutely, man.
So appreciate you guys all. If you didn't get me your address, make sure you get that to me by Sunday so that I can get your stickers to you in a timely manner.
Cool. Have a good night, man.
Have a good night.
Thanks for joining.
Craig, it was good talking to you. I'll look forward to seeing your address. Make sure I get a return address on there for you. Duey, as always, appreciate it. Brandon, take care. And as always, guys, work smarter, not harder. I'll catch you in the next YouTube video.
Thank you.
And then there were 4.
Dun, dun, dun.
Those were very good advice words.
Yeah, I'm trying to back off on being on YouTube so much, and it's kind of hard, but I've been trying. It consumes so much of my life.
I have to say, shout out to my wife too. I spent all day at a tractor show. I was home for half an hour. I ate dinner, and I said, I'm going to the shop because I'm going to be on a live stream. Have a good night.
Yeah, I mean, I shout out to my wife as well. Just, it's awesome that she lets me do this. So,
Yep. I've been pretty much hanging out with my wife all day. She's probably got a sinus infection. I keep messing with her, saying she's got corona, and she's like, "Shut up." No, we've been just kind of taking it easy today. She threw some stuff into the crock pot, made a delicious meal. Ate that and was around for maybe 5-10 minutes. It's like, all right, time to start getting ready for this stream. But big thanks to her for doing what she does, working 2 jobs. We got a 3-year-old. That's a job in itself.
hell yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had my 2-year-old nephew all day.
Yeah, it's not easy with the youngins, but it's a lot of fun.
They're 110% all day long to the crash.
Yeah. And some of them don't crash. I know one of my kids, they hate sleep. And they need it. But you can't teach that at a young age, so.
So what's something y'all got? Y'all have any tools in mind coming out that's got your eye or anything like that?
You know, I haven't decided yet. I know I need an impact gun, so I haven't really decided anything that's coming out right now that I actually want.
I mentioned earlier, I've got that ratcheting wrench set from Tecton. The one thing I'm finding is the box end ratchet is flat. And I had to put some bolts in to hold a motor down the other night. And I wish I would have had the flex head version. So
Yeah.
I may look at getting a set of those.
I've been looking at Makita. Kind of want to try a little bit more of their cordless tools out. I don't know.
Delve around with some cobalt blue. I don't know. I sent Brandon that link earlier. I don't know if he's interested in that. To me, that for $112, you're basically buying a bare tool at that price.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go look and see if they got it, because that'd be nice.
The hard thing for me though is like I have Ryobi, and I know Cobalt's a great brand, but I also know for me Ryobi's worked, and that the bulkiness is about the same between the two brands. And I'm just looking for a good compact.
Yeah, the Ryobi looks so much bigger out this way.
They're huge. I mean, they're like, look, like this Quiet Strike Impact. It's a nice impact, but like the form of it is just, it looks like a battleship or something, you know? I mean, they just like, they engineered it to work. In terms of the handle and stuff, it, you know, feels fine for me. But it's a fairly big, I mean, compared to the Milwaukee Surge, which is the same thing, you can see the Quiet Strike is like what? 2.5.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Talking about that, Nick, if y'all end up missing the rest of the stream, it'll be in podcast form tomorrow. So the link to the podcast is down in the description of this video.
BWS Electronic talked about the new XTR lineup. Give some insight on that. The XTR lineup should be out at the very beginning of May. It'll be in stores sooner than that, but full-blown launch will be the beginning of May.
I might go take a look at them. I might even look at Craftsman. I don't know. But Polar Bear Ed, have a good night, man. Thank you for joining us.
See you tomorrow.
Night, Ed. I want to shout out to Turnings by Turner. He subscribed to me on YouTube.
It's a good guy there.
Yeah.
It's a good channel too.
Yep. I sent you a subscribe just a little bit ago.
Oh, cool. Thank you. I'm way smaller than you guys.
Hey, I just started this year, man.
Me.
I'm a lot more active on Instagram, though, because that's a lot easier for me to snap a quick picture, a short video, what I'm working on or what I'm doing that day.
Yeah, it is easier. That's why I post a lot there. Not as big as your Instagram, but I do post a lot on Instagram.
Where's your Instagram at?
Me?
Yeah, how many followers you got on there?
It's around 6,500.
Oh, wow.
Damn. Yeah. Doing good there.
That's where I put most of my energy for the last, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I've had a YouTube site page since 2012. We never did anything with it. And then it kind of got focused on doing the business stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, this is my channel. I'm going to do what I want. So I've been kind of doing my stuff a little more frequently lately.
Hey, yeah. I mean, they're two different beasts, you know, getting into both YouTube and Instagram. And yeah, Instagram is definitely good for like that quick update on what you're doing.
Yeah. You can share to Twitter, and Facebook, and all that. That's one thing, and it just takes a little swipe of the button over there to share to other sites. Walter sent me a sub. Thank you.
6563 is the official number.
Stephiel, I broke the mini tire changer doing small tires from Harbor Freight. I broke it. That screw in there is weak or something. It just bent right over.
Zaphiel's last statement's very true.
Right on.
Yeah.
Give them what they want.
Not only that, I mean, I've seen like
Gotta show a little skin on Instagram.
there's some girls on there. I'm like, how do you have 300,000 subscribers? Like,
And you have 10 pictures.
it's not slim pickings out there, you know. I mean, I don't know. So Dewey, what made you, maybe this, you know, this stream hasn't heard yet, but what made you invest in Cobalt, go all in?
Let's see. Kind of, I don't know. We'll take a little, if y'all want to, take a little history trip.
Yeah.
Kind of go over what got me to where I am today. I got out of school in 2007, went and started working full-time at Sears Automotive. Started as just a basic lube tech. Back then, I mean, that's when kind of Craftsman had a decent lineup. It's not the bottom of the barrel times, but it's not the pinnacle of quality either.
Yeah.
So I started buying into Craftsman tools. I think it was like a 270-piece tool set, anywhere standard wrenches, ratchet wrenches, and all that. I just sold all of those tools about a month ago, and about 5 years ago, I bought my first Cobalt tool set. They had, it was a 207-piece or something. It was somewhere around there. It was marked down to $50. It was 50% off. Had those. That was my first Cobalt stuff, other than buying a little plier set at Lowe's. And as I got out of automotive stuff, I went in about 2011. I got into apartment maintenance. Stuck in that for a bit. Got out of the market or the industry. Went into the automotive industry again. I started welding and working in the manufacturing plant. Had a little one and was like, it's time to get a day job, get away from these nights and all that. And here I am back again in the apartment field. And when I did that, I was kind of wanting to get into social media a little bit. It was just something that interested me, and it was like, you know, there's nobody really representing Cobalt at all. And that really started the social media push for Cobalt stuff, and it was about mid last year. And then about October, November, I started focusing a little more, kind of building up what I wanted to do. And January of this year, I just said, you know what, I'm just focusing on it, and I'm going to push Cobalt line because there's nobody on it. And I've been pretty pleased with the tools. Can't say anything bad about them. Before Cobalt, I had Rigid, had a bad experience with them, and just wasn't looking back.
Yeah. I do know that VCG Construction actually has tested Cobalt tools in the past, and they've been very impressed by how they perform, although they will, what are they? They consider them DIY tools or professional tools.
Yeah, they just did a video yesterday, I believe it was, and they said Cobalt, since the previous breakdown video they had, which was covering, what was that? Impacts was the first one, and they ranked them as a DIY tool. And this one, they did make note that Cobalt is teetering on being considered a tool brand or pro tool now, and especially with this XTR lineup, they've got a lot of pro grade features built into it. The new circ saw has dust collection port built into it. So that's going to be something that's going to push them into pro grade tools.
That's a nice added feature for sure.
And then some of the tools that's out right now, I'd say are borderline pro and DIY. I've got the miter saw, it's got dust collection port. The sander's got a dust collection port. They've got their own battery powered shop vac. So it's they're expanding that lineup to really compete with Ryobi and Milwaukee and other larger tool brands. It's got a great selection.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely have a nice lineup of tools. I don't. It's nice that they make those lists, but I don't believe in them. I think if you can use them professionally, then they're professional tools.
As long as it lasts, gets the job done, that's what counts.
And are they upping up their warranty, right? Or is it the same? But it's still a very good warranty.
Yeah, there's a 5-year tool warranty and then a 3-year on the batteries.
Which I'm pretty sure is what Milwaukee is. So
yeah. And I think that's really kind of the industry standard now, is to push for a warranty within that area for coverage. And I don't think anybody's going to have issues. Even with Cobalt, one of their greatest attributes to their lineup is price point of their batteries. Their battery for the money is awesome.
Twisted R, Stacy, all the links to their channels are in the description of this live stream.
I've had this asked a couple times now. I'll just say it out loud on here. They want to know what my Instagram handle is. It's at Craig Camp 77.
Let's see.
If you want to see pictures from a tractor show today, that's what's on there right now.
I just signed
Yeah.
up.
There's some great pictures, too.
Thank you.
Y'all let me know if this link works. I think it should. But there's my Instagram. Should be popping up in the chat here in just a second. And it looks like it will.
Hey, can you post Craig's, too? Just go ahead and post that when you can.
Just a second here.
My computer's too slow to do that stuff. I can't run the Streamlab and the StreamYards and go to YouTube and other stuff. My computer's just too slow.
What's up, Just Wrench It? Thanks for joining us, man.
I just wrench it.
He was the first one on YouTube to discover Hart Tools. Just Wrench It was.
And now they already got one. Now you're starting to see the hard tools already in the clearance aisle.
Yeah. Yeah, who posted that? Was that
I did. There was a impact driver for $30.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone probably bought it and thought it was a drill.
Probably.
Y'all double check this link. This is client graphics. It should work.
Yeah, and if anyone's in here, if you go subscribe to Just Wrench It channel, he's got Hart Tool giveaways going on right now. So you can click on his thing there, sign up for his channel, and hop in on that giveaway.
Done and done.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, Brad's Workbench sent you free tools. Turnings by Turner. That's awesome.
And not only subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications.
Yeah.
That's supposed to help, I hear. Have any of you guys got any negative comments?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, but I got my band hammer. I also got a blue wrench, so
Yeah, people are going to hate you, so.
got a blue wrench too. So
If Just Wrench It is interested, check out my channel. I'm going to be dropping probably a video tomorrow on the Cobalt 24-volt shop vac, and I've got more coming up. Walter, you said that you're not seeing a lot of Cobalt in your store. Check out my video from, what day was that, Wednesday or Thursday? I did a store walkthrough. It was a real brief one. I plan on doing some more of those and going more in depth and seeing how that goes. If y'all like to see more selection, and if you're interested in Cobalt stuff, go on the app and do home delivery if you want to.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have any other questions about any kind of precision machining?
I don't know much about that stuff, so I don't know if you have something you might want to explain.
I love
but-
watching YouTube videos on that stuff. It's interesting.
It's definitely cool. I mean, like, for what you do, is there like one brand type of machines that you use, company?
So let me make sure you're asking the question I'm going to answer the right way.
All right.
You have different brands of machines, like you guys use Cobalt or Ryobi or Rigid. So like behind me, I have a Haas machining center. So I personally like Haas because I think their controls are the easiest to use, very intuitive. And right next to it over here, I have a Fanuc controlled machine that they've been around forever and they work just fine. They're just not as, to me, they're not as user friendly.
And are those, I guess they're big brand, like what would they be comparable to in the cordless lineup?
So Haas would be your Rigid or Milwaukee.
Okay.
And, you know, there are better machines out there, but it's price.
It's price and it's the user, right? I think a lot of people forget that.
Raphael wants to know, how do I get affordable CNC machines?
Auctions.
You know what? I see stuff on Craigslist sometimes that they're old machines that they were good and they're good brands. The thing that scares me is if one of the boards goes out. I know we had an old mill at the place I used to work, and it cost them about $15,000 to get the servo drive rebuilt. So yeah, maybe the machine's only $3,500, but if anything goes wrong with it,
Yeah,
you're done.
Mm.
So
I know a few hobbyists that they'll get like the little Harbor Freight mini mills, and they'll get the kits to turn them over into like little DIY CNC for hobby use.
yeah, you can buy a whole kit on Amazon that's got the power supply, the stepper drivers, stepper motors.
pretty expensive industry to get into there, right?
It's very expensive, but It's
Right.
that's why.
Also,
Like client was asking about getting a socket adapter made earlier, and he got a quote for $215 for a couple hours of work. So
yeah. Yep.
and you can go on Haas's website right now and see the price of this VF4 right here. They're about $105,000. So I have to make that spindle turn every day, and it has to make a lot of money to pay that investment off. So just like when you guys are using your cordless drill, granted it's a way different scale, but if you go spend $300 on a good cordless drill, you expect it to work and pay out.
Yeah, make you all tools you want them to make money.
These are just tools. They're just bigger.
Well, and then on top of that, you can't just run that stuff on standard 110, 220. Some of that stuff's 3-phase. And
yeah, my whole shop is 3-phase. I'm in an industrial complex here, and it's all 3-phase. I will say, if you want to put a machine in your garage, though, and you need 3-phase power, American Rotary makes the best phase converters.
I've looked into one of those for a few things.
If you want to get into woodworking, a lot of times you'll see industrial equipment at a discounted price because people are scared of the power. Well, I don't have 3-phase. I can't buy it.
I see that a lot. And I look for a mini lathe.
Mini lathe.
And you can actually buy American Rotary phase converters on Amazon.
And they're not terribly expensive neither.
Don't quote me on this, but I want to say a 5-horse phase converter is around $700 or $800.
Well, that's pretty cheap, but if you think about it, for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you could pick up a used Bridgeport for $3,000, it's an investment. It's a tool. Now, if you're a hobbyist, it becomes an expensive hobby, but
yeah, really.
When you move your Bridgeport and all, do you have a forklift, or what do you use, black iron pipe to move it around?
So we have a forklift now since we moved into it. That was actually the first piece of equipment we bought when we moved into an industrial space. It's a used one. It's an old Heister from '82.
Nice.
I think it's rated at like 3,300 pounds, but all our big machines like these here, we actually hire a rigging company to move it because we've actually moved our shop 3 times now as we've grown. This is our second commercial space. It all started in my garage at one point.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and that's another thing that people get scared about. Well, I can't buy that because I can't move it. Well, if you're going to spend, $3,000 or $4,000 on a piece of equipment,
Right.
to spend $300 or $400 to get it moved safely, that's the other thing is, yeah, my buddy's got a trailer, he can do it. Well, if anything happens, oh, sorry, man.
It's on you.
That's a whole my beer.
You just
See,
damage.
on my side, my dad been a tow truck driver for 30 years, and he specialized in moving equipment, special pieces of equipment, expensive equipment like that. So
Yeah. Now, we just bought a manual lathe, and it was big and heavy, and we were able to get a flatbed tow truck. He pulled it right up on his deck.
Yeah, I worked at a machine shop for a while, welding for them, waiting on this maintenance job that I've got now. And we had a Bridgeport there that cooked, and it's like, it was like, yeah, well, it's going to be down for a while, so we're going to have to buy another one. And them coming in, that was a good chore swapping that out.
So,
Yeah.
Zaphael has a couple questions. The machines that I use are Haas primarily. I do have a couple other brands, but Haas primarily. And he also wants to know what's the difference between 4-axis, 5-axis, and 6-axis. What that means is how many axes your machine can move. So if you have a square block of something, a 3-axis mill can come down in Z, it can mill in Y, and mill in X.
Okay.
When you get into 4th-axis work, now you can rotate your part and do things on the side of it, but you still have your same X, Y, and Z. When you get into 5th-axis, now not only can you rotate this way, you can also rotate this way. So you could turn that way and that, and now you can do stuff on this side. That's basically the max amount of axes you can have. If you get into, there are lathes that have more axes, but what that's doing is you have multiple tools engaging the work at the same time, but it still is doing the same axes. I don't know if that helps or not.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Like, the job you actually do and stuff. Like, it's very cool stuff. It's not something you get talk to someone that does that every day. So I love trade jobs. People are out there doing this stuff.
Well, the thing that I like about it is I get to create not only, obviously I have customers that send me blueprints and say, hey, we need, 10 of these parts, but I get to create solutions for, old equipment that's broke.
Right.
I have a video on my channel where I took an old military generator. The carburetor is basically junk in it, and I made it worse when I broke the float. But I found online that by changing the carburetor, you can change the horsepower from like 6 horsepower, what it's rated at, up to 20.
Jeez.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flat 4 Wisconsin. Stephen Cox had one on his channel as well. But I machined a custom intake manifold on this machine here and put a Kohler carburetor on it, and now it runs really good. I actually handed out earplugs to my neighbors at the engine show today because it has straight pipes on it. Here, you're going to want these in a few minutes because you're going to get tired of hearing me. I was wearing them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of times the small engines, you'll see that it's mostly the same block, and the only thing that changes for the horsepower is pretty much the carburetor setup. Other than that, nothing changes.
I'll tell you, Brandon, you may know Redbeard's Garage.
Yeah.
He does go-karts and all. He's actually here in Tennessee. He's about an hour and a half away from me. But he did something pretty cool too. One that he's working on is a go-kart. He's got a old AMR 500. It was used as a smog pump, but it also can be used on Volkswagens, old Beetles as a supercharger to cram more air in. And he's doing that build here lately, and that's pretty interesting. Basically, as long as you can control that fuel to air mixture and the internals hold up, you can make as much power as you want.
The key thing there, as long as the internals hold up.
That's why I threw that in there.
Yeah, that's been a debate in the small engine world forever. Can you really supercharge a small engine? Some say you can, some say you can't. So,
man, you can take a Honda clone 212 Predator, Duramax. There's a lot of them now that are them Honda clones, and they've got little superchargers that you can put on them. You can put nitrous on them. It's ridiculous what you can do to any small engines now.
yeah, a lot of those kits, people say they're pretty much there for just cosmetics. They actually don't work. I mean, the nitrogen it's just a little. It comes in CO2 bottles, like the CO2, like you get a pellet gun. You just put those in there, and you just shoot the nitrogen. It hooks directly into the intake manifold.
So, Dewey, do you work on any engines at all, or are you just primarily in the maintenance stuff?
I used to work on building car motors. I've got a 1990 Toyota pickup. I built the motor on it. I'm debating. I've got a '03 Harley Softail that needs motor work. Now I'm on the decision point of, do I want to even try and tackle that, because they use specialized tools that I have to order or borrow, something like that. So I may start working on that, or never know. The Toyota truck I've got, I want to actually take that 4-cylinder out and put a 351 Windsor in it and do a motor swap.
There you go. I know this is tool talk. I'm steering it towards engines, but if you have 8 sets of wrenches, what do you do with 8 sets of wrenches? What do you work on with them?
VCG construction in the house.
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on, VCG?
Is that Vince behind there?
Hopefully.
You know, 100 BCG, 100%. I don't know the science behind the whole nitrogen. I've never been into the performance end of engines. I've always been on restoring and fixing, but never got into the point of the science of the performance end.
So, as far as I know, you can use methanol, and it enriches the fuel mixture. Nitrous oxide, you can use, it's nitrogen and oxygen, so it's kind of its own fuel that goes on top of your current fuel mixture to give you a brief increase in performance.
But to do that, you need to open up your air and your exhaust too, because it's got to breathe. So you can enrichen it, but you're going to have to make it breathe a little bit more. That's why with the stage 1 kit, you get for like a 212, you get the jet, but you also get an open header and then a cone filter, which is more open than a stock air filter.
Mm-hmm. And Mikuni makes a lot of good aftermarket carburetors for small engines.
Oh yeah, the slide, but that's when you want to get into. You're going to have to put in better valve springs. Try to put in the stronger valve springs because you'll float a valve.
Oh yeah, go double valve springs or honeycomb style.
And if you're going to do that, you might as well take the head off and pour it. You know, do all the fancy stuff. If you're going to go that far into it.
Factory slag is pretty rough on standard cast motors.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying the other day that the rate of your speed is proportional to the depth of your wallet.
Yeah.
I think it was Ed.
Yeah. And it's true.
So what else you guys got going on this weekend?
Think we're going to do a tool battle tomorrow, Dewey? Right?
Yeah, I'm game for it. We just got to figure out a time. But I got a few things early in the morning till around lunchtime, and I think we'll be able to make it work.
Yeah, we'll just do a couple little entertainment for the coronavirus epidemic going on. Pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call
it. Y'all should put a mask on and do the thumbnail. There you go.
There you go. Right there. I just want to also say what's up, This Guy's Garage. Sloss and Lawn Care, how's it going? Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Oh, VCG's going to Lowe's. First of all, I will say this. You can tell a lot of contractors don't shop at Lowe's because it's one of the cleanest stores I've ever been in compared to Home Depot.
Toilet paper sanding test.
I have a shower, so I'm good on toilet paper. I don't,
I just want to say something. VCG Construction did a Home Depot tour earlier.
Yep.
They was talking about the bidets. So I'm curious if the sales in bidets has spiked, or they sold out as much as toilet paper, or what's going on with that?
Well, now they make like all those fancy toilet seats. I have a couple of friends that have like toilet seats that wash your ass and play music and light up, and they heat up and heat down, and it's just it's. But
and they're about that $40 point.
Apparently, sales have spiked. So, and like I said earlier, and I'll say it again. If you go to Home Depot, all the natural soaps and stuff, every single one's still on the shelves. No one's buying it now. They buy it whenever there's nothing going on, but this comes on, they want to see antibacterial. But I will say, just buy soap, wash your hands frequently, and you should be all right to go.
Cool. Well, hey guys, I've got to run.
All right, man.
The client said I've got to go home and spend some time with my wife because I'm going to be at the tractor show again all day tomorrow.
Awesome.
So, thank you guys very much for letting me come on and chat with you for a little bit.
It's nice to meet you.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Y'all have a good night. Peace.
All right.
Later.
Back to the Three Amigos.
Three Amigos.
And this is how it always usually ends. It's usually three of us.
Just getting there.
That or like it might just be me drinking a beer and talking. Like Brandon just leaves. He's like, all right, take over.
Yep. I'm gone. I'll see y'all.
So yeah, lots of awesome people on tonight. Client, you know what? Fuck, I forgot to say it. Client Graphics hit 20,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say it. I was going to announce that the first.
Right now, I just want to say congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll listen to the podcast later, so there you go.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm a little jelly. For as long as his channel's been around, his channel's boomed.
Oh, so if you guys follow Junk from Work, he gave me a shout out one time, and he gave Client Graphics a shout out one time, and Client Graphics, I believe, was at like 600 some subscribers.
Yeah, I think that's where he was when I met him.
That
was like a year ago.
Yeah, now he's at 20,000. So congratulations, that's awesome. Brandon wakes up in the morning and Neil is still streaming. It's happened, I mean, but no, that's a heck of an accomplishment. Just like I think VCG Construction's knocking on the door of 200,000.
Yeah.
So some people care, some don't, but it's a tough go on the YouTubes. Not a lot of people know that, and so definitely congratulations to all that are succeeding.
Yeah.
And this guy's garage just hit 500. I think he might be at like 520 now.
Awesome.
So
I'll be talking 200.
You hit 200?
I'll be there pretty soon. I think I'm close to 180.
Nice, man. Nice.
I said this not too long ago. I really don't care about ever getting to the point of monetizing. I just want to know people's watching my stuff. I do this for people to watch. So
well, that's how how you just keep rolling with it, and I keep getting positive feedback, so I keep going with it. I enjoy doing it, and
I did just buy that expensive camera, that new GoPro.
Yeah.
I don't even know where mine's at. We got an old GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition.
I got the 3, and I got the 5, and now I got the 7. I should have just got the 8 because it ain't much more, really.
I want a Session just because of the size.
Yeah.
I have a pretty decent video of I'll give you the cliff notes, but it's about Walmart and Hart Tools. I don't think Hart Tools is all that. I like Hyper Tough, and I bought some newer Hyper Tough stuff that I'm going to be trying out along with their old. And I'm having a little trouble uploading the video, but once I do, it'll be pretty good. If Hart Tools, they offer like nothing. I haven't seen a battery yet with a battery indicator on it. It's a weird brand. And I love Ryobi too, but I don't get Hart Tools. I don't.
I'll tell you, last night, me and Chris, we did that stream, and I don't know if you saw it, but we went to run the lag screws. He snapped that Hart like it was nothing. It's like, alrighty then. And I was using a Warrior one over here, and it held up just fine. I mean, them Warrior ones were like, what, $2-3, something like that?
I don't know, but Hart Tools is not. They have yet to impress me.
Yeah. They just look cheap to me anyway. Just the look of them.
Like I said, the heart of Walmart is hard. We'll see. It's all cheap. It's all about making the bottom dollar.
Well, that's the weird thing. Like I kind of think when they had Black & Decker and stuff, like it just made more sense. Like I'll be honest, I've ran 20-volt Black & Deckers, doing decking projects and just different projects, and they held up fine for homeowner use. Hart, they haven't, even their brush, like you watch VCG Construction's Hart battles, they just don't do well at all. They don't compare to the competition. And like I understand a lot of people think Ryobi is cheap. There's a lot of great things about Ryobi. They stuck with the same battery lineup. Their tools last some professionals. That's the other thing too, is like when you watch YouTube videos, you have to understand that different people do different things, right? So you got to take into account what they do on a day-to-day basis and what you do and apply that. But like Ryobi, I bought into them. I was going to buy Craftsman. I guess it was the 19.2 volt lineup they had, but it was expensive back then. So I went with the Ryobi, and they've held up good. I switched over to Milwaukee. I like the 12 volts, but I've been having a lot of issues with the batteries on the 18 volts and 12 volts. I never had an issue with Ryobi, and that's just my personal experience. So at work, I went back to the Ryobi, and Ryobi makes like I have the Sync Auger, which has run awesome. I have the Heat Gun, which is awesome. I have their cordless planer, which is awesome. So they make some good special. They're like the test subject for Milwaukee, But like I said, I bought the Quiet Strike to take into work and start using full time. But if you compare it to the look at the size difference, to the surge, the M18. And I have the 12-volt surge, which actually is the same footprint as the 18-volt minus the battery platform. I don't know. It's all confusing. I'm still learning.
So talking about that planer, I don't do a maintenance, but I did that remodel one time. What do y'all like to use on doors? A belt sander or one of those planers?
Planer.
Yeah, planer all day long.
And you can adjust on a planer how much you want to take off, and you can do a consistent shave off of it from wherever you need to.
Yeah, we just picked up a cheap Harbor Freight belt sander just to get that one job done, and it did seem like it took forever, but it was just like so much that you didn't want to take a saw to it because it was just very small amount that had to be taken off.
Yeah, usually it's like a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch that they're out. Sometimes you don't even have to shave much. You can kind of mess with the door jambs.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Yeah, I mean, Twisted R said the Ryobi tools, he runs them hard. They take a beating. You can run them hard. In terms of doors, it all really depends on like how they're out. Sometimes you might just get one spot. So you could I'll take a random orbit sander and sand that one spot down, and then you're good. Other times it's a bunch of spots on the door going down. So you take that planer and you just run it. It works great. And we also have metal doors on some apartments, and then you got to take the angle grinder with the, you get a flap disc or something, just basically take off the paint, sand down the metal a little bit, repaint it, and then you're good to go. But Ryobi has, like VCG just says, has a huge platform, and I haven't got into it yet, but like the cordless outdoor tools, are pretty big with Ryobi too. I know a lot of people are like the brushless lawnmower and stuff like that. So, and I have their little torpedo heater, 18-volt, that you could hook up propane, which is nice,
Yeah, I'll tell it something. VCG Construction posted a video earlier on the Skill Oscillating Multi-Tool, and all I can see is sitting there looking at it. I'm like, hey, that's Cobalt, because Skill's made by Siobhan, and that's who builds the tools for Cobalt, and he touched base on this, how you can use closed-in bits on that just by twisting and popping it off. But a multi-tool is a good tool to use on the side of doors too, because you have control of your speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, to be honest with you, the best cordless oscillating multi-tool I've ever used, in my opinion, was the 12-volt rigid. The battery life and just how it worked was absolutely awesome.
I almost picked up the DeWalt one when they had it out on sale at Christmas time. I didn't because I don't use one enough to justify the buy.
They're nice. Even the Craftsman one has a quick change, pretty simple. Or if you want to buy a corded one, the Black & Decker makes an inexpensive quick change corded one.
Has anyone on here tried the Restorer? I've been wanting to get one of those. Those look cool.
What's that?
So it's pretty much like a big drum type sander, and it can do wood, metal. It's pretty awesome. If you look up the videos, this one guy made them, and it's just rebranded on, like, Craftsman has one. I think Porter Cable was the first one to rebrand it. They're pretty cool once you watch the videos on them. They work faster than a normal sander on removing, like, finish or rust or anything.
Walter Frederick said, I have the multi-tool, the Fiend Multi-Master. I have the cordless Fiend Multi-Master. The bits are not cheap, but it is an unbelievable tool. Absolutely.
So touch back on what Brandon was talking about, that Restore, I've actually seen one. I follow a couple woodworking channels and stuff like that. And some y'all may know I've been doing a lot of that Sukibon, however you say it, burning. And some people will do that and use that style of a sander to cover area quicker than just a standard Orbital sander or hand sanding it.
And they ain't too expensive really either, if you think about it, for something like that.
Yeah, that Porter Cable one's a decent price.
Yeah. The skill, the 12-volt lineup they came out with and stuff, it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
Underrated, my opinion.
And I'll show that if VCG Construction's still in here. It's got the same adjustable lever, switches up top, the front headlight. It's got 6 marked speed settings. And what was the voltage on that skill? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was like 12 volt, 9 or 12, and this is 24 volt.
Yeah, and I'll point this out. That probably is a boss at a lot of things, but the way the battery sticks out the end, like that, it limits your ability to get into some spaces that you might have to get into.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing, like where the skill battery pack's a lot more compact.
Or if Cobalt made that so the battery slides in like on the ass end, if they made it all flat.
Yeah.
They
did that with their ratchet. And
right.
A lot of people complained about that, but it's like you can't win for losing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And one thing I'm really stoked about, I don't know if actually I know VCG Construction seen it. Cobalt has leaked out photos of a 24 volt router that I'm pretty interested in checking out.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Ryobi might have had the first cordless router. If not, it was either them or DeWalt. But I have the Ryobi cordless one. It's worked great, doing hinges on doors and stuff. Ryobi's nailer guns are. I see a lot of professional carpenters that they use Ryobi nail guns because they work the best. But I also saw Cobalt has a Brad nailer, right? Coming out or is out.
I've not got any solid photos, but I've got rumor of a nailer coming out. Hopefully it makes out to be one of the ones that is true, because that there I know is a very highly anticipated tool to come out for the Cobalt lineup.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Ridges wasn't too bad, but I still like the Ryobi one. But those are definitely because I do a lot of trim work at work, so
yeah. I'll tell you something. And he's actually someone jumped from work. He did a video a while back taking what was it, the DeWalt battery, I think,
Yeah.
and bought a M12, I think it's what it was, soldering iron
Yep.
set up and did it. And I saw him post something about that last week, and I messaged him, was like, dude, I need to do this because if I need, say it's some kind of board in an air handler that just needs a little resoldering on the end or something I can do, that'd be handy instead of having to run extension cord and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, doesn't Ryobi have a soldering iron?
I'm pretty sure they have a cordless soldering iron, yes. All right, I just want to say later, VCG Construction and
Later, man.
Frederick, thank you for showing up tonight. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'm going to head to the men's room real quick.
Right on. Let's see. This guy's garage. Do you have an Instagram by chance? If you do, add me. It's Duey_did it. I'd like to talk to you about a few things. Walter, if you're still in here, same. There's a few things that I'd like to chat with you all about.
Yeah, cordless soldering iron would be handy. I do a lot of soldering work on mowers.
Yeah, there's something I actually want to talk to you about. The jumper box. What brand jumper box is that you was using?
That's a Cornwell, but I like that. What's that? Jump and Carry. I like that brand.
Okay.
I think you can get one that's about $100 on Amazon, but they're great. But the one I was using was a Cornwell.
I like some of Cornwell's stuff, but some of their stuff's just like pricey unless if you buy it on sale, then it gets to a decent price range.
Yeah, I bought that one at pawn shop for $50.
This guy's garage, I'll send that my email down. Just a second. I think you still got us on mute.
No, I'm here.
Oh.
I turned it off. Is someone joining us?
I don't know. Who would probably want to?
No one said they wanted to join us.
This guy's garage?
Yeah, this guy's garage. You want to come join?
Yeah, let's hop on out. So, Brandon, what kind of impact do you want to get into?
You know, I thought about just getting the DeWalt impact because I already got the DeWalt batteries. But then again, I need to upgrade my batteries. They're too small. I mean, it lasts all day on my impact driver, but on my drill, I run through this little battery quick. So I need to get the bigger batteries for it.
Was it the 1.5 amp hour?
Yeah, the ones that comes with the packs.
Every company does that too.
Yeah, it's a plasma cutter.
It's an awesome plasma cutter also.
Yeah, for the money. I can't believe how good it did.
I couldn't eat. You know, it was awesome too. Like, I watch Wrangler Star, and he does a lot of cheaper.
Yeah, the day before I got that.
I know. Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't even watch this because I was like, I watch BS, so I'm good, you know. Here, this guy's garage said send him a link. He'll try with his phone.
Okay. I know some of my viewers are probably mad because I ain't been doing more small engine videos. But, you know, every now and then I tire out from small engines. So I try to keep up, just to kind of do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
I got the slowest computer. I really got to upgrade. I upgraded my camera. Now I need to upgrade my computer.
I'd agree. Like Wrangler Star's gone downhill. But you know, like the same thing with Wrangler Stars. He's pretty honest about himself, and yeah, he's a little bullish on a lot of things he does. But like, I kind of respect that, appreciate it. You know. So. I enjoy it. It's entertainment. That's what his channel is. So I can appreciate it. Do you want to run Cobalt against like Milwaukee tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll tell you, BCG Construction did some head-to-heads or TTRs on some of it. And it seemed like the closest competitors was like DeWalt, and Milwaukee was pretty close on those.
I mean, I can definitely run Milwaukee. We could do and I think instead of presetting them, we'll run it so it's a little more like a sport competition. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna sink 5 screws, you gotta keep them in your hand and just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I'll probably lose, but
I don't know, man. I was pulling fingers yesterday. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn on some of them screws.
it happens, man. You know. But as you go in, like I used to do live streams with the kid I worked with on tool battles. And it was fun with the tools, but like at the same time, it was fun going head to head with him. You know, just to keep your wits about you, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I have
now, what battery packs do you have?
Batteries?
Yeah.
For the Milwaukee?
So I've got 2 amp hour, 1.5, and 4 amp hours.
I can do. Maybe we'll have to roll with 2. I might have a 5, but I have some 3s, and I have 2s.
That 5 would be interesting to see how going from the 2 to a 5, and then compare it to a Cobalt 4 amp.
Yeah, or I mean, we could use these. I'd be like, I'm not big on the battery output, but I could use these high output 3s against the 4. We could try that. You know,
what's the watt hour on those?
What's that?
The watt hour on that 3, what is it? Because I've got 96 watt hours on these 4 amp hours.
54 watt hours.
I've got 48 on my 2 amps.
What's on the 4 amps?
The 4 amps is 96.
Let's do the 4 amps versus the 3 amps.
All right.
Okay, the link's sent.
Or, I mean, do you have any brushed cobalt?
I do. Well, I don't know if it came in today. I'd have to work on it if I did.
Do you have
I
any?
had a follower that has an old brushed, what size is it? I can't remember. It's before the 24 volt lineup. It may be the 20 volt that she had. She sent it in. The chuck was messed up. I was like, you know what? Send it to me. I'll crack it open, try and fix it, whatever. So,
You want to see some weird fuckery? Read the bottom of this if it does it focus there. It says cells made in Korea or Malaysia with additional processing in China.
huh. So they don't know where it's come from.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, it's made, it's produced.
It could be from here or there or anywhere.
Exactly. Amos Cardoza got 6 guinea hens yesterday.
Dude, I miss my guineas. You will never have kids. You won't have to worry about Lyme disease. If you got corona, you just got one of the two.
Yeah, exactly, right? I gave my dog a bath today. Finally. We got ticks out the wazoo here. So.
Yeah, you know, I haven't seen really many fleas in this part, or ticks in this part of Texas, but we will have a bad problem with sand fleas, and even that expensive stuff you get for them, it'll only work for like a week, and then they have fleas again.
Yeah. Is Ryobi going to come out with the higher output batteries like some of the other lines? I do know they have. They've worked with Hewlett Packard. Makes batteries for them. They're high capacity ones, and I believe they come in 3, 6, 9, and 12. So they do have up to 12 amp hours by HP, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the highest amp hour you can get on the market right now. In terms of cordless tools, I do realize like garden tools and stuff are 40 volt and bigger, but what about Cobalt? What's the biggest battery they make?
So Cobalt has 3 classes of batteries. They've got the 24 volt, the 40 volt, and the 80 volt. I know in the 40 and 80, I think it's like 2, 3 amp, maybe a 4 or 5. I've not really bought into any of those lines yet. I don't have a lawn to take care of, so really it's kind of in the dreams book if I get a house and all. But as far as the 24 volt lineup, they've had a 1.5, a 2 amp, a 4 amp, a 6 amp, and there's talk of a 9 or a 10 amp hour battery pack coming out this year.
All right.
I've seen pictures of a 9, but with the new battery change with the 4 amp hour ultimate output that's in the XTR lineup, I think they'll push that envelope to that 10 amp hour because they're adding an additional cell into the pack.
All right, and then turnings by Turner. Anyone doing any testing on cheap knockoff Ryobi batteries on Amazon? You can check out. There's a channel called Making Stuff and Breaking Stuff with Al. He did some knockoffs, and if I remember the brand, I'll go on my Amazon and check out what I bought. But I bought some 3 amp hour knockoff Ryobi batteries, and I ran them for a couple of years, and they worked really well. So I'll send you a link to those. And Zaphiel says, I'm pretty sure Ryobi doesn't have. No, they definitely. I'm almost positive they have 12 amp hour batteries.
So Project Farm, I think it was DeWalt battery packs that he was looking at. He bought some knockoff batteries and did a comparison, rundown tests, temperature tests, and all that about, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was pretty interesting to see how the authentic batteries compared to knockoffs and price point. And then he broke down what's the better value and all that.
Yeah. And all right, so I'm seeing 9 amp hour from Ryobi. Okay, my bad. DeWalt has a 12 amp hour. Ryobi HP has a 6 and 9. And I
This
know
guy's garage did not get the link for StreamYard.
Gonna look again.
So, but I mean, 9 amp hour is pretty decent, you know.
Yeah. Really, to me, a 6 amp hour does a lot of the workload that we've got in our 20-ish volt tools out now.
I agree with that. And actually, to be honest with you, I use a lot of 3 amp hour, even 2 amp or 4 amp, just depending. But Amos Cardoza says Ego makes the best battery, and I'm almost positive that Ego makes the batteries for the skill cordless lineup.
I think Ego makes, it's all parent company by Siobhan, which is Skill, Cobalt. A lot of those share a lot of stuff. I know Cobalt uses Samsung sales, and really in the market, I think Samsung sales dominate with Milwaukee and others.
Yeah, and actually, Turners by Turning, I believe the brand I bought was Powerling. I'll double check right now in my previous orders. Real quick, Ryobi batteries.
Hey, this guy's garage. Check your spam folder just in case.
He got it.
Okay.
Power Extra. So I bought. I'll try and show it on the screen if it comes up. We'll see. These were the batteries. It's Power Extra, and they're 3 amp hour batteries. And for me, they work pretty good. They didn't screw up the tools or anything like that. So it's for the price too. I think it was so 2 3 amp hour batteries for $36.99. And they have battery indicator lights.
So, touching on batteries, I say within the next 2 years, lithium ion is going to be dropped down to the tier where nickel metal hydride is. I see graphene dominating the market.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
I know I've heard talk of Tesla. Who was it? I think it was Bill Gates, maybe. So had invested into the technology. And I think within a couple of years, we'll be seeing a lot lighter, smaller, compact batteries that are dishing out almost double or triple the power of what we have currently.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing how well lithium ion does, compared to the NiCad was just is no good. Joe Smith in the house. What's going on?
Tacos, Joe? If we got with tacos, I'm totally down.
So I'll show you something, and this was mentioned today, I think it was. I was talking to somebody about it, and I made a video on the shop back of kind of some of the differences why the tool manufacturers would choose to use a brush motor over a brushless. And I've played around with RC cars, but this motor right here is a Castle Creations, and this thing dishes out. You can actually see it, 100,000 RPMs. And I'd like to take and see what one of these would do inside of a drill.
That'd be awesome.
Supercharged drill.
Birthday wishes. Joe, have you heard anything about when I may be able to join in on a midnight show? After hours.
I was one of his first guests.
Yep. Yeah, you were. That was a good show, too.
Shoot, I need to listen to that one he had last night. I need to catch up on that. Me and Dale chit chat every once in a while. And
yeah, Dale Lucid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walmart or the hard tools just don't do anything for me.
People say Cobalt looks cheap. I think they got
No,
whenever Art came out.
Nothing can look as cheap as hard. That stuff just cheap plastic just has a look to it.
What's that cheap brand at Harbor Freight? Not Bowers, below it. I can't remember.
Warrior.
Or Warrior, yeah. And they got the Drill Master. That's for some really low quality stuff.
Man, when you pay $20 for a drill and battery and charger.
Yeah, what do you expect?
Right. I mean, you're looking at nickel, nickel cadmium. I mean, you're not getting much technology in there. You're not getting that good of a quality of a motor. Your gearbox has probably got plastic gears in it. You're definitely getting a plastic chuck.
Yeah. Well, all DeWalt tools are plastic chucks,
Yeah. Now, that's one thing I like about the Cobalt is theirs are the metal Jacobs chucks.
Yeah.
Supposedly, the Cobalt right angle drill that's coming out, the first pictures I saw of it was with a plastic chuck. If it was me to get that, I would probably end up buying a Jacobs chuck or taking one of my spares off and seeing if it would switch over. This guy's garage, how's things going for getting in? You having any luck with your PC?
Yeah, he ain't in the basement yet. I'm looking at the basement.
Yeah, he said he'll be in the back room or backstage soon. momentarily. So. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Brandon, did you get my message on Instagram earlier?
About the set?
About the oil?
Oh, you know what? It might be, for some reason, some messages get filtered out. And I gotta check that filter. Haven't checked that filter folder in forever.
I don't say that may be something you may be interested in getting into.
Yeah. If you want to, Stacy, I'll send you the link in the Hangouts.
I got a bladder of a 12-year-old girl. FIL.
Not as bad as the pregnant woman.
Oh man, we're going through that right now in my house. So
Every 5 minutes.
it's not so much that; it's just when they gotta go the stampede to the bathroom. You know, it's like
You get that little pee-pee dance going.
oh man, it's like I'm glad I don't have to experience that.
There he is.
There's Mr. Canada himself.
What's going on, boy?
What's up?
Once you break the seal, you break the seal. Uh-oh.
He was there, and now he's gone.
Where'd Brandon?
We crashed the computer.
I'm over here at the computer putting people up.
Oh, okay. All right.
See?
That's fine.